Recently, Pope Francis went out to dinner with 120 trans women, but some have been left confused with his statement because when asked about the trans dinner, he replied by saying, "Trans? Yeah, right, good one. Trust me, those ladies were all women, and I had 120 of them all to myself. Yes, sir, you heard that right. I know I took a vow of celibacy, but no one said I couldn't look, and the guns on the one on my lap were so nice I peeped him twice."
At this point, one of the bishops started ushering the Pope towards the back room and asking the reporters to leave before whispering, "Do not ruin this for him. My man had a good night with 120 beautiful ladies, and that's all that matters. Isn't that right, Francis?" Before turning to the Pope to say, he just means that all women came from Adam's rib, technically, so at one point was a man nothing to worry about.
Ignoring the bishop's recommendation, the reporter pulled out an article from the Daily Mail confirming the 120 women were in fact trans. When the Pope ran back, got in the reporter's face, screaming, "Call her a man again, I dare you. Next person to say it, it's on site." This sounds like the kind of article someone with 0 honey dips would write, let alone 120 all to himself, before taking a swig of the communion wine and yelling, "I f***ing love being the Pope. But if I wasn't the Pope, you don't want to know the things I would do to the tall one. On God, she'd be walking funny out of the Vatican, because Popey likey."
The bishop interjected again, saying, "Long live the Pope," and urged other members of the clergy to join in chanting the Pope's name while he stood on the organ making motorboating sounds and yelling, "Don't hate the Pope because you ain't the Pope. Now let's get this pregame started."
The boys.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The lads.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Prepare yourself for BOYSCAST.
The bros.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The homies.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Experience the BOYSCAST.
The boys. Cast.
And BOYSCAST. Boys, we bring you, before we get into it, the crusher of the week.
Crusher of the week.
His name's Benjamin Smith, and he commented on a post by saying, "Let's be honest, aside from procreation purposes, men have become obsolete. Most women can find other methods of achieving orgasm without a man there. And speaking as a man, most of us are horrid to be around."
Agreed.
And I don't blame any woman for just saying, "No thanks."
If you're a man and you're listening to this, which you are, hit yourself.
Yeah.
Ben Smith.
Hit yourself for Ben Smith. Ben Smith is just dripping in it.
Punch yourself in the face hard.
Hey, listen.
Not like a little bitch.
But he wants to tell the girls that if they're saying no Benny tonight,
Yeah.
he gets it. He goes,
Yes, he
honestly, good choice. He goes, "Hey, you want to go home with me tonight?" And she goes, "Honestly, I'm just kind of not feeling it." He goes, "Good move." Honestly, I'd
Right answer.
Yeah, correct.
You've won my heart.
Yeah, that is exactly the answer you should be saying. So this guy's a weird looking dude. He's got sort of a weird photo like that, and then he's also bald, which has been a bit of an issue in Kim Jong-il's North Korea.
What, being bald? What, he made bald being illegal?
Yeah, I don't think
they're
I
not going
said you
through
that.
enough? Yeah, you didn't send me that.
No, but no.
There are
So,
enough problems now? They're like, it's illegal to be bald?
well, no. So Kim
Busy
Jong-il.
eating rats over here.
So, well, that's basically what happened is because of apparently like everything's so contaminated that baldness is like a huge problem over there.
Yeah.
And they don't really know what to do with it, but that's the only thing that they're going to have to come up with is just the same thing they did with suicide.
Why don't they just
okay, suicide's illegal. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, I already figured out the solution.
Being bald's illegal.
Well, it's everybody's eating rats, but then you have the rat fur, rat toupees. Literally just solved all of North Korea's problems. There you go.
Yeah, that's actually funny.
Rat toupees.
Yo, do you mind if I get kills on that? It's like, what? Just the fur for my toupee.
It's just like, like the tiger rugs or whatever, where like you don't even make it like a toupee. It's just a rat, like just full splayed out just on your head.
Rat toupees.
Hey, Kim, did you get a new haircut?
And that has been the crusher of the week. He's just the crusher of the week. So Jimmy Fallon's in a little bit of trouble right now, man. The world there's a lot of... Listen, we're going to get to Ireland is falling to shit my motherland.
Ireland's in the scope right now.
I know, I think Jimmy Fallon might be Irish too.
Yeah,
He's been known to tie one on.
That's Irish.
Is that an Irish name?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Jimmy Fallon's in real trouble right now. This is probably my favorite thing. Jimmy Fallon causes uproar after calling a transgender actress Bud. Hey, Bud!
Hey, bud.
Well, you got a fucking schlonger there, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking Buddy doesn't know if she's a dude or a chick there, eh? She's got a freaking hog, but she's saying it's a lady. I don't really even know there, eh?
Yeah, it's pretty good, bud.
That's the funny part too, is they said that Bud is not gender neutral. I've never heard anyone refer to a grown man or woman as Bud before. I hate Jimmy Fallon so much. It's like, exactly.
Canada.
No, someone's never been to Alberta.
No. Everybody's Bud.
Well, a bunch of people on the internet are mad about it, and they're saying that. And it's obviously turned into articles and everything.
I'm sure
Jimmy Fallon's
everybody's
gonna have to apologize
I'm sure someone's going to go, like some trans person is going to go watch every episode of Jimmy Fallon ever to find, like, if that ever happened before.
Well, did you ever call a girl Bud? Because you're saying you're calling them Bud.
Yeah,
but
because I do that all the time.
That's what I'm saying, though. If you're saying it's not gender neutral, buddy, they'll call a friggin' dog Bud.
Yeah.
They'll call their grandma Bud.
I mean, I literally call a group of girls guys.
What?
That's like, you know, you just, you know how like guy is like the default. I mean, like, hey, what's up, guys?
Guys, yeah.
But like, just guys becomes the default. Even like, you ever see, you like notice yourself when you refer to girls as guys? Because like
I do that.
Yeah, I know. It's just like,
Well, I definitely say buddy. I go buddy. I'll say that no matter who I'm around.
Yeah.
Bud comes out right and left, man.
Bud. Yeah, Bud's is normal.
Yeah. So, anyways, they're not happy with it. But
I wonder if Jimmy Fallon's gonna be like, I was watching Letterkenny or something. Like he's gonna have to be like, I was watching the new shorts.
I was just playing some puck there. This girl comes in, but she's got a friggin' hog on her, right? And I say, Bud, I don't know.
I call everybody Bud. You think he's gonna overcompensate for it? And now, like for the next
everyone's
2
Bud.
weeks, everyone's, hey, what's up, Bud? Hey, it's Bud here tonight on the Bud Jimmy Fallon show. Bud.
Okay, buddy, if you move down there, so Bud could sit down.
Yeah, he gets like literally supermodels. Like he gets, oh, we got the Victoria, the Rockettes. Come over here, Bud. Hey, Bud. All the Buds, come on over here. See, I call everybody Bud. Total normal. Don't want to lose everything, Bud.
Yeah, just not trying to get fired there, Bud. So a couple Buds. I was talking to my wife there the other day. I said, hey, Bud, you mind just finishing me, topping me off there, Bud?
Yeah. Just finish jacking me off there, Bud. It's like so aggressive.
Don't want to lose everything I worked so hard there for, hey, Bud. So I've just been definitely calling everyone Bud there.
Just the most minor transgression, eh, Bud? So,
oh, yeah, just fucking losing my show after what I'd consider pretty much nothing. So, Bud, we'll just come on. A very minor transgression there, Bud.
Oh God.
Yeah. So, anyways, they definitely watching Letterkenny, but
yeah,
that's my favorite one is the small town where people say Bud a lot, but I think it was Jared Campbell's dad's friend or something. But he goes, oh, you go to the city? I'll tell you what. Your hat falls off in the city. You better be prepared to kick her home. You don't want to bend over because everyone's gay. Because everyone in Toronto's gay. Oh, your fucking toque falls off in the 6 there. You better be prepared to kick her home.
Or you just leave it. Only 2 options there, Bud.
Such a funny story. Also, so just the last thing on, because we're on sort of talking about the Pope or whatever. I love the new Pope. How he's just going to dinner with 120 chicks.
Yeah. 120 normal ladies.
This is this is the most recent one of, it's trans related, but it's also them. You know how recently they've been coming out and being like, just so you know, like this guy was gay and this guy was gay in history. They're sort of going back in time.
They're rewriting history. Everybody's trans.
Your character doesn't stand a chance, by the way. If they ever write about Danny, you're gonna they're gonna be like, oh, it was a dom and he'd like to do everything there.
Yeah, is he constantly referred to as gay on this one podcast that we found?
That photo that you did where you said you were a pay pig. You're done.
Yeah, for sure.
They're gonna be like, oh, Danny,
because that's the stuff that actually like Google indexes the most.
Exactly.
Is your Twitter profile photo.
So they're going to be like, Daniel Polishuk, a lot of people don't know this about him, but he was a known pay pig. But they're trying to say Marcus Aurelius was trans.
Yeah.
The main stoic guy.
Yep.
So I looked into it a lot, and a lot of people, the people that were saying, no, it's not true, were just kind of like, yeah, there is a different guy with that same name.
And then like referred to as a she once or something.
But Marcus Aurelius, who's like the main stoicist.
He was not a chick.
Obviously
what are you
not.
Talking about?
They didn't have this stuff. This is what the people can't understand. They just didn't have this stuff. No. So they go, Roman Empire reclassified as trans, but it's like museums, the North Hertfordshire Museum in the UK have decided to now refer to him as trans, and they changed the whole museum to say that he has she/her pronouns and stuff like this.
Up.
Buddy, Marcus Aurelius, this is the type of person that he's like, your own son dies in front of you and you'll never cry because it doesn't affect you that much.
Cheers.
You tell me if that person identifies as a woman, the guy who wouldn't cry if his own son died.
Touche.
It's like the most stoic person of all time.
Yeah, just because they found one piece of text, something that says like, oh, might someone like is one of his boys was ragging on him. He goes, look at this, he's on his rag, lady over here.
I know.
Goes and he's probably so stoked. He's like, yeah, sure. You can refer to me as a lady. I won't.
That would not even affect me. In fact, I am a lady.
Yeah, I'm a lady. See? Sticks and stones might break my bones.
But now I'm trans for eternity.
Yeah, now I'm a woman.
I wonder if this would bug him. I wonder if he'd be in heaven just being like, yeah, there's still nothing bothers me.
No, he's in hell just getting poked. He goes, nothing. He goes, I purposely went to hell just so I could just continue on with my stoicism. This doesn't suck at all. It's quite nice temperature.
Just another day. Yeah. Nothing will bother me. Yes. I'm very stoic about
just
that.
An eternity of just nice temperatures.
The new article. Also turns out Marcus Aurelius was into breath play. Yeah, just anything I was. Wore a gimp mask. Yeah, obviously pushing it a little bit, but still fine down here.
I think that was invented.
At the
time, but sure.
This is the type of shenanigans. I want to just say stop the shenanigans, okay?
Yeah, stop the shenanigans.
Stop the shenanigans. Give the shenanigans.
It's really, we need to cut the malarkey is what needs to happen. Biden was right. We need to cut all the malarkey.
We actually do need a bit of at least a pause on the malarkey.
We need a moratorium on malarkey. A malarkey moratorium right
Well, the malarkey's not stopping. But this one I go the other way because there's something that obviously we need to take a minute on the boys cast to talk about. Something very terrible happened.
Yep.
So some people were just going to a Chiefs game, having a good time. They thought they could just watch a game in peace, you know?
Sure.
And then there's this kid.
Yeah.
Turns out he's doing blackface. And listen, I've personally thought about it. They haven't doled out exactly what the punishment is. I would say if it was up to me, if I was in charge of the league, if I was in charge of the state, I would maybe say put him in a well.
Yeah, bottom of a well.
You're a well kid now.
Yeah, you're a well kid.
Okay,
now.
well, no one can see your blackface because you're bottom of the well.
Yeah, we're not coming to look for you either.
Bottom of the, they partition off the well.
Yeah.
Like it's a hazmat situation.
Maybe you know what it is? Maybe you go like really medieval style and you turn it into like a tourist thing. Where it's like you're now like a tourist attraction. People can come and they'll feed some seeds to you, but nobody's helping you get out of the well. You live at that.
Helping you get out of the well. I'd say helping him get out of the well should be punishable by death.
Well, you go in the well. If you're trying to help the kid get in the well, you're now also in a well.
You're also in a well now, pal. How'd you like that? You want to condone blackface? You want to put your stamp? Oh, that's okay?
Yep.
I'd like to tar and feather him, put him in a well.
White tar.
I would say
is there white tar? We don't want to do black tar. That'll kind of just winds you up in the same, literally the same
Elmer's
position.
glue.
Yeah, Elmer's glue and feather.
So it's a white tar. Okay, so we do a white tar and feather. Get tarred and feathered
Modern problems require modern solutions.
White tar and feather. That's funny. The guy who tarring and feathering him actually gets some tar on him, and then he has to get tarred and feathered in the well. And then the other guy doing the tar and feather accidentally misses some of the tar and feather, gets on his arm, and they go, "Now you're doing black arm there, pal. You're doing black tar and feather arm now. You're in the well, pal."
Can't win.
Whoever sold the paint, I'd like their license revoked.
Yep.
Whoever sold the paint. I'd also like to see the bloodline just in general turned off. So let's say castrate the mother, anyone in the bloodline.
That's fair.
And then you also, they maybe do like a week in the well, but I definitely think anyone related to anyone who's ever even thought about doing blackface should probably be in the well.
And all the money that goes from the admission tickets to see the kid in the well goes to Sean King.
Sean King for sure.
He gets all the money.
I'd like to see him get something out of this.
No, of course.
At the very least, he's going to get paid.
Oh, he's probably set up a GoFundMe for himself for some cause.
What's the maximum amount that is statistically significant? That's the minimum amount that could be statistically significant. That's how much the kid gets of his GoFundMe. That's how much the people get of his GoFundMe.
Yeah, exactly.
He goes, well, when you go, hey, you didn't even give him any money. You go, au contraire, they were given a statistically significant amount of the money. What's that 0.01% would be the
something like that.
So, like, I think of people even less than that, but
yeah,
smallest statistically significant percentage of money is how much Sean King's people get of his money.
That's fair.
This was probably the funniest story because it was just the turn of events.
I mean, everything about it is so crazy. The guy who posted it, the original guy from Deadspin who posted it, if you look at his account, he says he was like nominated for like Pulitzer Prize.
Well, I mean, I think he should get a Pulitzer for this.
He's getting dunked on so insane.
He's an idiot.
And he won't
No.
like,
So I'll
walk
just
it
say what
out.
happened. So basically, the kids had, they showed a photo. It's like one of the craziest media things I've ever seen. It's kind of like when I said that the Washington Post guy did
It's the lying
interview.
fake news media.
He did the interview with Noam, and it was just like, are you Biden's like lawyer?
Yeah.
The way you're talking, you know what I mean?
This is like,
But they had a photo. He did black on one side, red on the other side because it was the colors.
and it was more like a brownish.
Yeah, and they took a photo of this kid from the side.
Yeah.
Which means they obviously had the normal photo.
Yeah, of course. They had
What do you?
tons of photos of
But
him.
what was even the goal of that? So then he gets
sensationalism.
Then they come out, and then basically the guy who wrote the article with Mr. Pulitzer comes out and he goes, actually, it's even worse then if the guy has red on the other side because now he's it's two cultures that he's
appropriating. Yeah.
And then on top of that, so he's basically saying the league needs to step in. He was kind of saying the league needs to like step in and do something about their fans. That's his.
Sure.
And then it comes out the kid's like
He's Indian.
native.
He's literally Indian. His dad, his grandfather, is like the chief of some tribe. So like he's straight up with like, this is my culture. You're a piece of shit. Like you probably like exposed the way they probably like colored the photo too is they go really like bring the blacks out here. Let's make, because like, you know, you could modify a photo to make it like look like the true brown.
Oh yeah, that guy put some contrast on
like
that.
right, you
puppy.
contrast the photo. They probably like, oh, this is like we need to bring the blacks out.
100%.
So they make it look super black, and they go, see, this kid's doing blackface.
We need to make this
Do you think there's
blacker.
any
He just
chance?
turns up the rap
There was
music.
a part of me. Yeah, there's a part of me when it happened.
Can we get him rapping?
And like the kid leaves the house, but the mom only sees the red side of him leaving. She goes, "Have fun today." And it's just the red side of him leaving the house. He goes, "Thanks, mom." Kids with their red face paint.
This is like the third one in a month where they've tried to ruin like a 7-year-old's like life.
It's crazy.
They're just on the hunt, man. This guy. Do you think? Listen. Do you think that there's anyone that this affected them so much that they've got to take an emotional stress day from work?
Probably.
Can't perform sexually. Couldn't perform before anyway, but now
I
even
mean,
more
have
can't
black
perform.
people not been through enough?
And now they got to see this
They
half
gotta
red,
see-
half
they
black
gotta
kid
see-
popping up
Well,
at the
the
game.
thing is, they thought like if you were, I'm sure there were some black people who were like probably when it first was misconstrued. They're like, this is horrible. He's doing two racisms at once. It's like that didn't even make sense either. Like that was another thing. You go, wait, blackface and headdress? Like, is this kid just trying to be the biggest piece of shit on earth? Like, what, the only thing you're missing is like pay us like Jewish curls or whatever. Like, we just come. Yeah, obviously. But like, wait, like, why would you just do blackface and then you see the other side? You go, oh, okay.
No, it's so crazy. They're just trying to take down like 40 kids in a row. But you are right. The guys are doubling down on it, being like, well, it's actually worse if he only did half.
Yeah.
Not crazy how these publications are operating. You know the only publication I trust?
What was that?
We actually found this because I think on the Patreon last week we covered, there was this person who was like, their whole thing was long COVID and they only post about how like people don't understand that COVID's worse than ever.
Yeah.
They have a new publication called The Sick Times. Did you see this?
Yeah.
This is what. So The Sick Times is basically a publication, and the only thing they cover is how like COVID's COVID's worse.
I wonder how they feel about, because there's an outbreak of like pneumonia in China, and then people are trying to threaten like China's going back to like social distancing right now, but just over pneumonia. They're not saying it's like a
they probably want to
new
be
COVID,
there.
but I'm wondering, are they worried that this is gonna be like, if this was a new COVID, are they like, we're fucked because we're long COVID people and we don't need like pneumonia stealing our sunshine?
They must hate. They probably,
or are they like bring on the new stuff?
No, I think the pneumonia people and the COVID people kind of see each other in the hallways, and it's a little bit,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, you think you're fucking pneumonia boy, hey? Just so you know,
I have long COVID.
COVID's the biggest problem in the world. In the contrary, I think pneumonia's the biggest problem in the world. I'm like, get 'em, boys.
Kinda. I wonder about that.
And they're just all just doing one of these.
It's total
Slap
sissy
fight. Sissy fight. But the COVID Times is incredible because it's going exactly how you think it is.
It's almost 2024. You're launching the fucking COVID Times right now. I remember the Sick Times. I remember during COVID, like in 2020, when I was in Miami, and then I remember like going to the mall, in the Aventura Mall, and someone was opening like, this was like, May of 2020. So it was like still stuff's closed down, and then someone was opening like a COVID store.
What was that? The COVID store?
It was just COVID supplies.
That was
like
worse than the
masks.
left-handed emporium.
Literally one of the worst ideas ever. Like it was like, hey, here's like a masks like with studs on them,
Was
like
that
just like different masks.
Male Sibians?
Kind of like there weren't that many things to sell. It's like different hand sanitizers,
Mainly hand sanitizer.
hand
it sounds
sanitizers
like.
and masks, and like maybe
Right.
like an air purifier or something. Like
That's a dork fest.
stupid.
I think they
store.
probably
but at least
thought,
I was like in the middle.
You know what it is? They thought they were going to get a lot of press on it, I think. You know what I mean? They thought they were going to get some hero treatment that put them
Or
on
they
top.
were like, this is going to be around for. You know, the markups on masks are huge, and this
This will
gonna be
never go
around,
anywhere.
Never going away. And we just started like the new like Foot Locker.
Well, it's going, it's going exactly how you think it is, because basically they're trying to raise money. So most of their posts about raising money, but so they go, so excited about this new publication. Really look forward to working with many of you in the long COVID community as we build our initial newsletter for the full site in 2024. So they've been sort of for the last 3 months, they've been prepping up for their first newsletter.
And everybody currently, everybody currently in the fibromyalgia community is like, where is everybody? What happened to everybody? We've moved on. We're long COVID people now. We've cured fibromyalgia with long COVID. What an amazing, what an amazing turn of events.
But even better than that, they want 70 grand. They've been trying to get their 70 grand for 3 months so they could do the first newsletter. They won't even do the first one. They don't even do a sample. They're just saying that once they get their 70 grand, the first newsletter comes
I love
out.
the people who are like still operate in like the way old things are done. You know, they're like, hey, I'm trying, you know, I'm trying to get trying to just like make this like teaser for like a sketch, and I need to raise
$1 million.
$75,000. You go, probably need like $100. I think we'll do it. It's fine.
Someone can probably crank this newsletter out in an afternoon.
Of course.
They need 70
It's like you're
grand.
describing Substack. It's free. It's like, what are you talking about? You don't need anything. You literally don't need $1. You don't need $1 to make it.
Just take your tweets and put them in a newsletter.
Yeah, like you have a Twitter account, make a Substack, go be like promote the two things.
Well, this is the kind of stuff you're gonna see. What's happening in long COVID this week?
What is happening on COVID this week? Actually, should we make that?
I
a
got
recurring
guess
segment?
what, Danny? Spoiler alert. Same thing as was happening in long COVID last week.
Which is what?
Not enough people are paying attention to us, and it's a
It
problem.
exists. We're valid.
Follow the link below for a free virtual event on the Long COVID Reader book launch forum, an update on Long COVID moonshot, new research, and more. So they think they might have some
What
new
is that?
research.
I might do that actually. I might
go to their virtual event. That'd be a funny thing to draw.
I mean, one, you put a fucking 10 masks on, and it doesn't even seem weird.
That's funny. If you go to the virtual event, we report on the long COVID crisis, COVID-19, and infection-associated illness. Sign up for the newsletter. Full site's going to come sometime in 2024. So they're in. It's taking them 6 months to put together a fucking site on Squarespace.
Yeah, you're like you can make that site, and I don't know.
Okay, this is what. Once they get their 70K, this is what they're gonna do. They can pay freelance contributors. How much are these freelance contributors doing? They need
I mean, they have long
70K.
COVID. They're literally doing nothing but sitting at home. They're all winded from like not being able to do anything. If anything, they have time all day to just write shit.
Exactly right.
Doesn't make sense.
The cover publication costs of their newsletter was like an email blast.
Publication costs. Like what are they going old like Vice styles?
Don't
They're going to be
look
putting them
into
in
it.
coffee shops. And stuff?
I think they think this is going to be. Well, it's obviously not going to be a print publication because that'd be like a hazard.
Yeah, exactly. Get that long COVID on there.
They're going to improve their website.
You don't have a website.
No, they don't have it
There
yet.
you go. That's the point. Yeah.
Once they get a website, you don't understand, Danny.
It's that bad.
They need the 70K to get the website, and then once they get the website, they're going to prove that you're ready for the. Okay, there's one more thing that they're going to do that the pod with the 70K is.
Yeah.
They're going to produce a podcast. The COVID times.
That's what the world needs.
You think that's going to be on Zoom or not?
I can't imagine that'll be in person.
Can you imagine? What are you listening to? Just the COVID times podcast.
I hear a lot of just heavy breathing. So
The COVID times
COVID
podcast.
podcast. So what's new this week in COVID? Still not a vaccine for long COVID, and just talking about how they can't get disability claims.
That's a big part of it. It's a big part of how to scam the system.
We can't get the government refuses to recognize my new disability that I have for life and would like to be compensated for.
Do you would you ever you're with a girl and you just pop on? Say, hey, do you want to pop on some music? I can only fuck to the long COVID podcast, COVID times podcast.
Oh my god. I mean, I will give it a
And more. Sorry, I didn't
and
say
more.
there and more.
Yeah.
I don't know what the and more is.
Masks, like custom masks.
They were gonna have merch, I guess.
Yeah, they gotta have merch.
COVID times mask. I'm sure they'll have merch. That's probably
Merch.
So with the $70K, they're gonna pay a couple of freelancers, finish the website and do a podcast.
Yeah, that should not cost.
$70K. The long COVID community spending bad. I gotta tell you here about Salty Sailor Coffee, fellas. We got a unique name. We got a unique flavor. It is time to dive into the world of Salty Sailor Coffee. This is not just another coffee brand. It's an experience. Single origin, organic selection, ensuring top-notch quality, the meticulous sourcing process. Only the finest beans are making the cut. They take the other beans. They go, get out of here.
Later, beans.
They go, later, beans. And you know I'm a bean guy. People know I'm a bean man.
Bean man.
I got signature blends. Whiskey Barrel's one of the ones that I've been cooking with.
Yep.
Well, you've been cooking with some of the bean?
Oh yeah, I got a brand new coffee maker, and I used it all. Actually, it was very good.
Salty Sailor, folks. They got cool gear. They got mugs. They got shirts. They got hats.
They got the bullet ice things to make your whiskey cool.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah,
So we got
pretty
the
badass.
bullet ice things. You're not gonna want.
You put these in your
This is
you put these in your freezer, and then that way they keep your whiskey without diluting it.
No, they send the whole thing in a really cool kit. The mission is drink coffee and do good. So they're giving back. So 10% of the sales go to the Navy Marine Corps Relief Society to support active duty sailors and Marines that need a helping hand. But there's value without compromise because despite being a boutique brand with 10% charity commitment, they stand toe-to-toe on pricing with leading veteran-owned premium coffee vendors like Black Rifle and Blackout Coffee. Experience premium quality without the premium price tag. So visit the website. You can discover a treasure trove of flavors. That is saltysailorcoffee.com. And the special promo code is BOYSCAST15. And this is the biggest discount we offer. So if you want to check over there, it's a great Christmas present. Comes in a great cool box, cool trinkets, and the coffee is great. saltysailor.com, BOYSCAST15. And if you're looking to replace a certain bad habit that you might have going on, cold turkey might be great on sandwiches, but there's a better way to break your bad habits. We're not talking about some weird mind voodoo from your crazy neighbor. No, sir. We're talking about our sponsor, Fume. And they look at the problem in a different way. Not everything is in a bad habit is wrong. So instead of drastic, uncomfortable change, why not just remove the bad from your habit, especially this time of year? It's getting cold. You want to be out there doing a certain bad habit that cannot be mentioned. So Fume's an innovative, award-winning flavored air device that does just that. Instead of vapor, Fume uses flavored air. Instead of electronics, Fume is completely natural. And instead of harmful chemicals, Fume uses delicious flavors. They got a bunch of different cores with different flavors, and you can mix them up and you can match them. You get it. Instead of bad, Fume's good. So it is a habit you're free to enjoy and makes replacing your old habit easy. Fume comes with an adjustable airflow dial. It's designed with movable parts and magnets for fidgeting, giving your fingers a lot to do, which is helpful for de-stressing and anxiety while you're breaking your habit. Great taste, cool feel, looks awesome. You got to try the new Solano Fume. It's made from premium walnut barrel and an onyx-coated mouthpiece and has a slightly softer finish. So start the holidays off right with the good habit by going to tryfume.com/boyscast and getting the journey pack today. Fume is giving our listeners of our show 10% off when they use the code BOYSCAST to help make starting the good habit that much easier. Start the good habits at tryfume.com/boyscast to save an additional 10% off your order. Dublin, my motherland.
Yeah.
My homeland is falling apart. Conor McGregor's out there.
Conor McGregor is out there. Irish Lives Matter.
My motherland is on fire. So I don't know if basically...
I don't know if you saw that's the most recent thing, and is that you can't even say Irish Lives Matter.
What do you mean?
There's someone spray painted Irish Lives Matter in Belfast,
And that's their White Lives Matter, according to them?
They're literally like they're saying they're investigating it as a hate crime.
Stop it.
Yeah,
Well,
which is like one thing is like that's not a race at that point. Like you're talking about a national, like you can't say Canada Lives Matter. Like even Canada's not that cucked.
Well, I guess Irish has a longer history.
But it's a country. It's like we're not even separating.
Yeah, be like American Lives Matter.
Yeah, you go, sure. Who's against that? Taliban?
Well, there's some real cucks over there in the Irish government. Have you ever see them do the things? There'll be like a bunch of girls, because every time they do this stuff, they try to turn everything into a hate crime, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a couple guys. There's this one guy, Leo Varadkar.
Yeah,
he's
the prime minister.
He's the like the Trudeau there.
He's
like,
literally a gay and brown guy who's like
he's like the ultimate cuck.
He's literally
right?
Trudeau.
I'll tell you what, you got to get this stuff sorted out before I come over there for my show, by the way. I don't want to be dealing with this stuff. My mother lives on fire. The great Irish people tearing it limb from limb. Limb from limb. They're having a reverse George Floyd. It's kind of like a reverse George Floyd.
Yeah.
That's a bad Irish accent that I got going on right now.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me get in the zone, because this is how you do it. Scottish, you kind of go low.
Yeah.
In Irish, you go high.
Yep. Yeah. That's what everybody in Ireland sounds like, a bunch of dandies.
They want
According to Ryan, you're all a bunch of dandies.
You're not a bunch of dandies. You want to come out to the show in Dublin. That will be January 11th, almost sold out. We also have Phoenix, Denver, Toronto, London, sold out too. Added a new one: Antwerp, Amsterdam, Copenhagen, Oslo, Stockholm, Perrysburg, Columbus, Liberty, Dallas, Baltimore, Calgary, Boston, Winnipeg, San Diego, Atlanta has just been added. The thing about Irish people is they weren't colonizers or any of that stuff, right? So they're
the indigenous people.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it's kind of that thing. I can't remember. It might have been Douglas Murray or something that said this, but he was like, the one place you never hear about the indigenous, the one place you never hear about colonizers is England.
Yeah.
It's the one place they don't talk about it, but Ireland's even more, because they weren't even colonized.
Yeah, exactly. They were colonized, and they have like a very long.
Sorry, they were colonized.
Yeah, and they have a very long history of just being Irish people, like Celtics and all.
Yeah, and they're trying to. So Conor McGregor, they're now investigating him for alleged hate crime. So do you agree with me that it's sort of like, this is like basically like a reverse George Floyd? It's like there's a lot of immigrants there, and there's.
Basically, so the story, as far as I understand it, which is that. An Algerian man who's an immigrant. He was an Irish citizen, but it's pretty crazy. Like the story, essentially, he came illegally to Ireland like 20 years ago. They tried to deport him like 5 times. He literally was like on the lam, and then all these NGOs were trying to like defend him, because they're all just like, we need to help, like, you know, immigrants or whatever. And so then they somehow managed to get him, even though the country was trying to deport him. They somehow kept, like, they won some appeal, and then they got him Irish citizenship. He's been there in 20 years. He's never worked once, and then he ended up just like going on some like stabbing spree and just like stabbing a bunch of kids, and so people are like upset about it.
Yeah, people are kind of like, this was just the ultimate in like cucking, is what they're saying.
I guess. I mean,
it's
look,
obviously, I'll tell you what, this is a culmination of a lot of things, but it's interesting because they are hyped up over there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing I saw. There's like these bloggers, right? And they look exactly what they show up to the scene, and they're on their like fixie bikes, and they have like helmets on and the whole thing, right? Yeah. And then the Irish people are kind of not having him. He goes, look at you. You've been calling everyone far right, and this is what happens. You're going to apologize? Oh, you look at you. You're trying to get your scoop. You're just looking for your scoop. You don't care. You don't care about the Irish people. And the guy's got his helmet on, and he's kind of sitting
just
there.
trying to like pretend like
he's like a blogger, right?
Yeah,
he works for like the Irish Times.
Yeah, no, he's not. I think he's more. I think that guy's an actual real journalist. Like,
you're calling everybody far right. Look at you now. This is what you get. And that's the kind of stuff. And so everyone's like, the bloggers are they're getting like run out of the area.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to know what's happening on the ground, but I'll tell you from the video.
He was the guy who was just like the super pro lefty guy, being like open borders.
He looks exactly what you think he looks like.
He's like, you know, riding like a fixie bike and all that stuff
everyone's racist, everyone's far right, whatever, right?
Exactly.
Oh, look at you. This guy would have hated the Canadian truckers, exactly.
And he did, probably.
You're calling people far right. How's that?
Yeah, no, dude, you're the one where you got fired up was great.
I feel like I connected there.
The moment you tried to do it, is
you know what happened?
Consciously do it, it's not good. But when you
the problem is you don't know what it's like because you don't have these ancestries.
No.
In fact, you don't have any ancestors.
No,
you actually have no motherland.
No motherland. I'm a gypsy.
There is no motherland for your people. See, my people have a motherland, and we don't like it when you just come in and try to take.
Yeah. I mean that's how it goes. Yeah, the Ireland stuff is.
Oh, you're just telling people they have to have their culture eroded and then be happy about it, and people are fed up, don't you know?
Yeah, I don't really know what this is, because obviously the far right people who I guess don't even like being called far right, are like, we need to have no immigration, but that's not going to happen. So
well, that's not going to happen. But I think that the biggest thing
But obviously,
for
illegal,
me,
I mean, a million countries right now are like, yeah, we want to get rid of illegal immigration.
it's like whatever. Yeah, you're not gonna have no one. People are gonna. This is like literally how a country's supposed to work. Is in a democracy, people think different things, and then they sort of agree on somewhat of like what's a reasonable position, right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what you don't need is like just because you have one tiny bit of a position less, now you're like racist. I think that's what people are kind of fed up with.
Of course. And I mean, again, like,
What they see as like a position of
I don't even
that's reasonable.
see. I mean, I'm sure some people are like, yeah, let's totally close the borders. Like, there are like, you know, people who are saying like, you know, Ireland should just be only Irish people, like white Irish people. That's it. Like, I even see some people who are like getting mad. They go, yeah, like, look, the percentage of like Ireland is, they'll be like, it's only like 75% like white people, but then they kind of like mix it because they go, it's like it's specifically like white Irish, but then it's still like 95% white.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
White people.
Yeah,
but they're like we want it to be specifically like white Irish people. You know, like they're like we really want, but again, that's just like not realistic.
I think you know what the thing is that I sort of agree on, and I've only lived in like super multicultural cities in my entire life. I don't think I've ever lived anywhere that wasn't like 50-50 almost.
Yeah.
So I kind of I don't know what it's like to live in a place that's all one race, but I think that the thing
Heaven.
what race would that be?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, I know what you're getting at. The Chosens, huh?
Don't try to paint me with any brush here.
Chosens, huh?
Birds of a feather, Ryan. Birds of a feather.
When Danny's up there with the Jehovah's.
Jehovah.
No, but I think the thing that people sometimes eventually get fed up with is the idea that the problem is people think in terms of Socratic logic. So you can only tell them like it's okay for them to do it, but not like Japan can say we want to be just Japan, but you can't say we want to be just Ireland. Like you can only tell that type of stuff to people for so long before they're just like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Also, you're like,
if you're saying it's bad for us to say no immigration, you also have to say it's bad for Japan to say no immigration.
And look, you can go vote in like a Viktor Orban or whatever from Hungary. Like, go vote in the far right government who's like, yeah, we're going to close our borders. But you know, I mean, you've said it, but like, there's only trade offs. Like, you think there's no negatives that are going to come from you just locking up your borders when you? I don't know what the.
Well, Japan's got a ton of problems.
Yeah, they have a ton of problems.
And I guess less people want to go there and have to speak Japanese, but they might want to go.
I mean, if you're in any English, but if you're in any English speaking country, like you're going to be a desirable place to move to, just because it's, you know.
Yeah, obviously less people are going to want to go to Ireland because of the accent, but
But you know what I mean? Like, it's easier to, I think, assimilate to it.
That must be a bizarre accent, like an Indian guy that like moves to Ireland and he's got like a mix of like Indian and Ireland.
Yeah, and I mean, and then eventually,
top of the morning to you.
Yeah, but then their kids are just like they speak Irish, you know. Like I was watching some guy and it was like some African person, and they're like African ancestry, but they have just an Irish accent.
It's kind of a weird combo, yeah.
I mean, that was I think I said it before, but the first time I ever saw a black guy speaking French, I was like, that seemed weird to me. But then you're like, yeah, there's 10 million of them. Like,
I told you, the rappers.
50 million of them.
I was just saying a was in a classic beef.
Yeah.
The Quebec rappers are amazing.
Yeah.
Je ne sais quoi, the classic beef. Classic beef. I couldn't find it. I tried to look it up the other day. I used to see it on Musique Plus.
Musique Plus.
But so they're tearing down the city. I'm recommending that you get that stuff figured out before I get there, because I don't want to be walking around and the buildings are all on the floor and the floor's on the buildings. Also,
I mean, more than anything, I think you don't want to be like on stage and then you get off stage and they're just like, yeah, that was a hate crime what you just did, because we just fucking clamped down on the shit you're allowed to say.
Have you seen the female politicians? They got all these female politicians and they're standing up there.
I don't recognize female politicians.
Neither do I. I just see an empty thing, but there's someone fucking balking. Someone clucking, right?
Turkey.
And then she goes, basically, she's kind of going on about how, well, if your speech is making someone uncomfortable, well, then it's much in the states in line to get rid of that speech there, don't you know? Yeah. And she's kind of saying that they basically, she's going on and on, same shit Trudeau says, like, why should you be allowed to say something that makes anyone feel uncomfortable? And you're just like, well, because you can't live without making anyone feel uncomfortable ever. Yeah. It's not a real country.
Obviously. And like, I understand, you know.
Afuera!
But, you know, like, don't, because I'm sure some people who are anti, like, this illegal immigration, then start casting like a larger like net or whatever, and being like, you're just anti-immigrant, and so I understand
for sure,
like in that regard, because like obviously, like in my opinion at least, immigration is generally a net benefit, but like illegal immigration is like, you don't want to have that. And if you vote specifically to not have that,
part that you have to pretend those are aren't the same thing.
yeah, those are like totally different things, and you're like, no.
Well, even more crazy.
Those are the same, yeah.
But even one step above that, the idea that it's a crazy position to be like, yeah, I mean, we'd rather take the like better people that went to college and stuff, and they go, what the fuck?
Yeah,
you're America. Why would you not take the smartest, best people that are going to contribute the most to the economy? Like, you're a country where you're basically like the Yankees of countries.
Yeah.
So why would you not want to take like, hey, who are the best people applying? Like, I mean,
sure.
I don't know. That's why we had to do a whole thing and prove that we, are going to come and
it was a fucking pain in the ass.
contribute. Yeah, of course. But like, when people are like, why would you want to do that? It's like, why? Obvious. That should just be like, obviously you want to take the best people.
And look, a lot of countries have these asylum laws that get taken advantage of.
Well, then you take some, whatever. The refugees is a different thing. Yeah,
refugees are a different thing. And then there's issues that like those countries have to deal with. But
refugees is sort of a flex where you go, we're doing so good, we'll even take some refugees.
Yeah.
That's kind of like when Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie have like a bunch of adopted kids from all over the world. It's almost like a rich guy flex.
Yeah, kind of.
Look at us. We're taking a refugee.
Kind of. And again,
their country can't even take any refugees. It really is like it's a country that you're like, we're doing so good.
Yeah.
That we'll take some refugees.
But again, like the people, like I very much view like the economy as like a bit of like a pyramid scheme, and you need more consumers. So like I think that is part of the calculus there with taking even refugees.
Depends on the birth rates and all that sort of stuff.
But I'm saying, but they're like, at least like this will fucking heat up the economy. They might bring all these bad things. It might be crime, all this shit, but they're like, those people still have to buy stuff. Like they still have to eat, and they have to live somewhere, and they have to get places. And they're like, the people who are just like engineering the economy are probably like, yeah, that'll probably like help us with our economic problem.
Birth rate issue. And also the amount of entitlements we have to give to people over 70 right now.
Yeah, just all those things. And so I don't know. It's everything has its trade-offs, but yeah, it sucks for Ireland.
Until you get that shit figured out.
Yeah, figure it out.
I've been saying Afuera to everyone lately. It's fucking my new favorite thing. Afuera. Every committee you want to get rid of is, hey, do you want to go, do you think we should do a meeting maybe to just figure this out? Probably can be an email. Let's do a meeting. Afuera. Also found out he's a tantric sex guy.
And he's like a big Jew.
No, I thought that he said he was going to convert to Jews.
Or he wants to convert. He's like loves Judaism.
He's like a woo.
Or whatever. Yeah, he. That's like one of the funniest things. All these people love him, and then they're like, his first trip he made as the new Argentinian president.
Oh, he's big on Israel, buddy.
No, but he went to Brooklyn to see like the home of like this famous rabbi or something.
No, he's big into the woos.
Yeah.
He almost like wants to be one though, because I saw him a picture with him wearing the hat. Yeah, but I think I also read another article saying he's thinking about converting.
I mean, he wants to convert. Okay.
Dude, can you imagine?
There are a lot of people on Twitter like that.
Can you imagine?
Or in Argentina, for that matter.
Can you imagine the uproar, though? If, like, Joe Biden goes, I'm converting to Judaism.
At 81. The president's been compromised. The president's been compromised.
He doesn't say anything about it. He just comes out with the hat.
Yeah, he goes, I'm Jewish now, man.
People would fucking melt down.
Oh, my God.
If Biden just...
That would be amazing.
He goes, it's all right, the holiday season's coming. I just want to say there's a war on Hanukkah.
Yeah, happy Hanukkah, everybody.
And that's it.
And that's it. That's about it. Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
Very happy all 8 days.
Dude, if Biden just converted to Judaism, I feel like people on the internet would melt down.
Crazy. People
Who was our friend that told us that they had to pay their rabbi for sex lessons?
Who told them to pay the rabbi for sex lessons?
Were you not there?
No, maybe
Someone
not.
told us. So basically, because you're not supposed to have sex before marriage.
Yeah.
And then basically they got married. And then when you get married, you have to pay your rabbi some money to teach you about how sex works. So this guy has to give his rabbi money, and the rabbi gives him money. Like you're a virgin at like 21, and then your rabbi gives you sex lessons.
Ugh.
Oh Okay, so what do you want to do? Is first
Actually,
thing,
you know what?
You
I
want to
think
put your
maybe-
wallet somewhere very safe when you're removing the pantalons?
I think Joe the lawyer, maybe the guy who got the coins thrown at him. I think he maybe told me.
Yeah, I think
that
it was
too.
a you
Yeah,
thing.
Maybe,
That's why.
Yeah, maybe he told me about that he had to some weird sex lessons.
Yeah,
or something.
I'm surprised you
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
about
I
it.
don't know.
I knew it was like
it sounds
you adjacent.
Sounds familiar. I just don't remember, but I think that's what it was. Yeah, when the Orthodox, because they just like they marry someone who they've known for 2 months.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they just do that shit.
But paying your rabbi for sex lessons is fucking so funny. I think it was your buddy Joe the lawyer.
I think it would have been.
But they just had another thing. So, anyways, Ireland's like a mess. Apparently, in New York, because we've been sort of talking about this and that, but in New York, apparently, they said the stealing thing.
Yeah.
Do you know that people have been talking a lot about that?
Yeah, that stealing's legal.
Apparently, New York's worse than San Francisco, or at least it's worse than California in general. And New York's the worst state.
Yeah, 4.4 billion.
Yeah, so they basically, because they're writing these articles, legislation sends clear sign to shoplifter thugs to go for it, and they had this
Thugs?
the New York Post, not words, not yours.
Thugs? Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I know certain people. I won't fucking put them on blast, but I know a decent amount of people. They're don't have a ton of money, but they're not like homeless. But they go.
Yeah.
They go, yeah, I basically steal like half of my groceries every single time now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Amazon.
Everyone's just like, everyone's stealing. Stealing's like on the table.
Oh, I mean, first off, I guarantee you, I would love someone smarter than I to know, because I've wondered about this to the extent where, Amazon owns Whole Foods, and they're kind of just like I wonder if that all washes out, and they're like, yeah, we just pay, everybody gets to steal, and we just pay less taxes. Like, if it's really just you're stealing from the government at that point.
But you don't pay less taxes.
Well,
That's what
I'm saying Amazon. Does Amazon have some side business, which they have a million of, like they have Amazon Studios, or they probably have like Amazon like VR or something that loses $8 billion a year because it's just like a pure long shot, and then they have all this theft that's happening in one of these other companies, and they just basically just essentially write off all the theft so that their Amazon as a total just pays less taxes. That's what I'm wondering. I don't know the answer.
Because they write off the...
Because they go, this is just a loss because they have all these just like losing companies, but then they have like AWS, which makes insane amounts of money.
Well, I'm sure they do, but I'm sure that I mean,
that's part of Amazon.
When you're writing stuff up, you still rather not get stolen.
I
right?
suppose. Well, yeah, that's what I don't know. At the end of the day,
because you're only writing it off against half, right?
Yeah, I guess.
your
I don't know
corporate
what
tax rate
I don't know what
100%.
theft is like. How that works.
Maybe they have like a scam on how to write it off higher.
That's what I'm saying. Oh,
I don't think so. I don't think they want to get stolen, but I'll just say that it is becoming more and more commonplace. It used to be like, yeah, steal a couple things at self-checkout. Now I got guys being like, well, I'm walking out of there with, a fucking 12 pack on their shoulder. Like, you don't even, the guard's like, hey, buddy. And you're like, fuck, you're flipping them off. Like,
what are you going to do about it? Nothing.
Apparently now it's like they're not even worried about it.
No, they're not.
But you know what Target did to stop the theft?
What?
So they have like a gay Santa. Target's back at it.
Target's back at it.
So that's the thing. I know we brought it up before, but basically they're going pretty hard on the gay Santas, and I think that's what they're doing because they know the shoplifters like don't fuck with gay shit like that.
Yeah.
Because that's what Target thinks. Yeah. Target has said the type of people that are stealing stuff.
Sure. Are not
about that life,
not
right?
About that life, yeah.
So they have like gay Santas everywhere. So they walk in, they're like, "Yo, what the fuck's all this shit?"
You think that's what was behind the tuck-friendly swimsuit?
Yeah, people walk in and they're
was
like,
an anti-theft thing?
"Oh yeah, go steal some shit," but it's a fucking
Yeah.
it's a bikini for people with dicks.
Yeah, why don't you go steal this tuck-friendly PlayStation 5?
I think that's what they're doing. If they make everything gay, no one's gonna want it. You know what I mean? They put
Smart.
That's a part of the strategy. Is they put rainbows on everything, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I'll just steal this shirt." It's like, okay, well the shirt says my boyfriend's gay, but I'm not. The shirt says I might not be gay, but my boyfriend is. If that's a shirt you want,
Sure.
like it's true that probably gay stuff doesn't get stolen as much. So the gay Santa, they have the thing, and and you pull the cord, and then what happens is he slides down the chimney, and then at the bottom of the chimney is you with an erect penis.
Slides right on there.
It just slides down.
It's
on
perfect, Santa.
there. Perfect. I wish I had the ability to construct things where it's just like a little nativity scene where it's Santa that comes down the chimney and then
Well,
lands
I'll
on
tell you
Danny.
what, someone who's listening to this definitely can make that.
And then you pull like a cord and the Danny doll goes, "You've been naughty."
I've been naughty, Santa.
We've both been naughty. The Pride Santa has him holding. He's got like a LGBTQ thing, and it says like a "Love is Love" shirt. So they're not going to steal that. So I think that's a big part of it. Is they go, if we just make everything gay, not really that many people are going to want to steal
produce,
it. The produce,
steaks are gay. All these cows, those are gay cows.
Gay cows. They've got like the bananas. Got they on the banana. In dye, they've dyed like 2 small balls at the bottom of the banana, so it seems like you're sucking a dick when you put the banana in your mouth.
Perfect. It's in the perfect for shoving up your ass section. It's the bananas. Like,
Exactly. So they're.
I ain't gonna be caught stealing that shit, nah, dog.
No, you fucking got the wrong guy,
nothing
dude.
on my ass.
Yeah, every cylinder object's in the up your ass section. And they have signs everywhere that says "Steal this if you're gay," but they're positive.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
I think that's
like a literal idea. They're saving $1 billion.
Steal this if you're gay, and then they always have pictures that go on the internet, and it was like but it's like for a pride montage to show just how proud of we are of the people. And when you steal it, it's just a picture of you stealing it on beside the "Steal this if you're gay" symbol, and you go on the front of their webpage, and they put like our pride showcase, and then they showcase some of you.
Showcase, yeah. Not for theft, just for.
I think that's the sort of vibe Target's been going for.
Yeah, I think it's a good strategy.
So they basically made the cops can't do it, and there's no like political will for it, at least enough. But the
and you're also not allowed to. Probably if you're the stores, you're also not allowed to do anything.
Stores can't do shit.
Like they
man.
can't. Like,
I think you could do.
It's not like the good old days where you just tackle someone like Bill Goldberg style for stealing like stockings or something.
No, you can't do shit.
No, you
dude.
can't even touch them. So,
no, you're done.
Yeah.
And the police, though, so there was the in Chicago, they had the final boss of like diversity police. Did you watch the video?
I saw, the
it's like a really long video, so I'm just going to describe it. But basically, there's 4 chick police officers, and they're trying to arrest this guy, and he just keeps like brushing them off.
Yeah.
There's 4 of them, and they're trying to like put the handcuffs on this guy, and the guy's just like, beat it, get off.
Yeah, he goes, get off him, come on. Like, he's trying to like a bit talk himself out of it, a bit.
And then eventually, it's like 4 officers, and 2 of them are like fat, and then they're like huffing and puffing, they're huffing and puffing. And
yeah, eventually the guys, they get 1 cuff on him, and then eventually I think the guy realizes like, oh, this is like, you're actually going to arrest me. So he goes, all right, I'm out of here. And he just like kind of pushes them all away and just runs away.
He just kind of says no, and the girl comes on the
And this isn't like The Rock either. This is like, this dude's probably like, I don't know, 5'9", 170
Well,
pounds.
the problem is it's 4 female Paul Blarts.
Yeah. They're all coming up in the segways.
There's 4 female Paul Blarts, basically. And the girl's so fucking breathing hard on back of him. She goes, he's taking off. And then he goes, and then the person goes, we can't contain him. It's just a retail theft. And then they just go, let him go.
Yeah.
They basically, the people on the other end.
Yeah,
were
just go,
like,
yeah, just let him go.
Let him go.
Yeah.
Because obviously you're not going to chase him.
No. And then the best part is she goes, I can't. He has a cuff on him. That's the thing. They had to go get him now because he had 1 cuff locked. So they go, fuck. That's the funny thing.
How's he going to get the cuff off?
Well, that's the whole thing, right? But they're also like, we have to go get him now because we've got 1 cuff on him. We can't just like let him go. Like if they didn't have the 1 cuff, they'd be like, fine.
Well, Daily Mail has an article if people want to go watch it, but it is a mess over there.
It's just like panting and everybody's mad because they're. I don't know who said this before, but there should not be all female patrols. Like guy and a girl. If you want to have chicks on the thing, guy and a girl.
4 chicks is too many.
4 chicks showing up.
Especially if the chicks are like kind of chubby.
I mean, yeah, but regardless, like, just it has to be guy and a girl.
Do you think all this stuff with all the, every country that's kind of in turmoil, all the stealing that's happening, do you think this is, and all the, the female cops not being able to do their job, do you think a lot of it is combining to sort of get people to a place where they're just like, see, we have to have robot cops for everyone? Like robot
apparently they have
shopkeepers,
them, right?
robot cops, but that's what I'm saying. Do you think this is all like part of the psyop to get people on board with robot cops?
I think this is just mostly just failed liberal policies, but I mean, it's a classic thing, It's just like the liberals go too far, and then it'll snap back, and it'll go the other way, and it'll just the bad.
I don't know if you saw, but Elon.
But they have. I don't know if you, but in Times Square station, I think Times Square or one of the stations near here apparently now has robot patrolled at night, like a giant, looks like R2-D2, and it's manned by a guy. He's not inside, but he's like. But he's like in a room and he's manning the thing, and there's
He's in a Roomba.
This is basically like a Roomba, but giant, like R2D2, and it's just gonna be going up and down, just monitoring crime.
Then what does it do though?
I think I think it sees crime.
They have
and
cameras
sends
everywhere
people.
anyway in New York.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that is a good point. I don't
It's like,
know.
what is this guy doing?
Just deterrence.
It's just a little fucking creep is what it is. All it does is walk around taking pictures of people. It's like an extra Japanese tourist is all it is.
Because why does it have cameras on its feet pointing up? Doesn't make sense.
Definitely has only the foot cam.
Just a random GoPro just glued to the foot. Like
just one guy, one real perv at the place who had a lot of autonomy.
One of the dogs. And it's overnight too, so it's like nobody's really paying
The guy's
attention.
on the night shift. He's putting the cameras in.
Yeah.
No, what he probably does, he puts the camera there but makes the screw flimsy so it falls down.
Yeah, just like hanging by like a thread. Just like,
But yeah, I don't know if you saw Elon Musk is like, he's going to a meeting with all these world leaders trying to solve the conflicts.
Yeah.
But then you keep seeing articles where he'll like meet with the Israel guy and then meet with like a guy from Hamas, and it'll be like, all right, so what did they say? And they said they're really loving the idea of everyone getting the chips in their brain.
Oh,
You
yeah,
go-
yeah,
You
yeah.
go, what? I thought you were talking about the conflict. He's like,
What?
we mostly just talk chips.
yeah,
And
it was not James, but then he posted a Pizzagate meme.
I know he's doing all sorts of stuff like
Wow.
that. I have a buddy who was we know a couple people, but I have a buddy who was like,
A male buddy or a female buddy? Distinction needs to be made.
he's big on the idea that he would never get any of the new stuff. The problem is, like, you do. It's like you can
By
only
new
find
stuff, he
it.
means like the neural links.
I mean, if everyone has it, you have no choice but to have it, or you can't have a job.
Right.
It's kind of like I always say that people that say, I'm not into technology. It's like, well, and then they always have like just like a flip phone or something. And you're like, that's still technology. It's just worse
Yeah,
technology.
worse technology,
So the only thing
yeah.
you can do is really just be 10 years behind.
Yeah, if you say, well, I mean, if you want to say, hey, I'm not going to have any of this like super invasive.
the only way to do it is to move out into the middle of
you live
nowhere
in-
and have a farm.
Yeah, you
right?
live on a farm and you're like, you have a
Amish.
landline phone.
But you can't. It's very hard to. All you can do is be a couple years behind. They basically you end up being the person that says, "Yeah, I'm just not into women," but you just have an uglier woman.
Right,
You're just like,
yeah.
well, that's still a woman.
Yeah.
You're like, why is your girlfriend so ugly? You go, I'm just not really into chicks.
Yeah,
I'm still into chicks. That's just a grosser one.
I have noticed though, for a technology that doesn't seem to be adopted, people are not liking is at Whole Foods, you can pay with your palm. I don't know. Have you seen that? They literally just skip the step of like
Is that what the guy
scanning.
told you? He goes, it's gonna be $10 or. Well, something involving your palm might make this
If you
little
just let
charge
me
go away.
Use your hand for a few minutes.
You want to just step it back and we
that's a weird way to pay for the parking garage, but okay. You only just buy a ticket from the machine.
if you want to use two palms, we give you money.
because you can pay for all these groceries with your mouth.
Let's just use it in there. So this is like a new technology. Has this been tested yet? Has this been approved by the government?
Yeah. How does this link to my bank account? Oh shit!
That's you at the CVS. So mine just comes out now?
Oh shit!
I was laughing about the idea because everyone has low attention spans.
Yeah.
The idea of when you're having sex with a girl and you have to put your iPad with videos of soap getting sliced on their back. You're having sex with a doggy style. Just videos of like industrial crushers just crushing paint cans. You put that on her back while you're having sex with her doggy style.
Ah, shit. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, that palm thing, people are not, I don't see anybody using that whenever I go grocery shopping. Nobody's like, I don't want to scan my fucking palm.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I don't
don't
want to,
wanna do
I don't
that.
need my palm print in Amazon's database to save myself like, I don't know, quarter of a second every time I go grocery shopping.
My
once a
cards,
week.
I can swipe my card just
Dude,
fine.
it's not even, I don't even swipe. It's like I hit two
Tap,
buttons
yeah.
on my phone. I go, pfft.
Oh, yeah. The phone one.
So it's,
Phone one's great.
I guess it's for people who don't even, you're like, I don't even want to have my phone or if I just get caught out with just my hand and I don't have anything else, I can go buy stuff. But you're like,
100.
at that point, I'm just stealing. So,
Well, anyways, they did, with all the problems, there's something that will solve it. The kid getting blackface, Kim Jong-il's, everyone's bald, the Middle East, Ireland, we got Russia. Forbes has a big solution. 3 ways to decenter whiteness in your workplace. But they got killed on and they changed the thing. But it's all the stuff that you'd think it would be.
Just decentering whiteness.
Yes, and I think that Ireland needs a decentered whiteness. I think that
The
Israel
world
and Palestine.
needs to.
Yeah, that's what Kim Jong-il. That's their big problem.
You know who's done a really good job of decentering whiteness? China.
China's done so much.
China's just kind of
It's a diversity haven.
All this shit's going on in the world. China's got a concentration camp. Nobody cares about it. They're like all their Muslims are just like in a concentration camp. Nobody cares. They're kind of just low key, under the radar, just slowly, just aiming to be top dog.
Totally. Ho, 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 gentlemen. Get ready to jingle and deck your balls this holiday with help from our friends over at Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming. They've just launched their Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, but I like to call it the small gift for your big package.
Ooh, there you go.
Featuring Santa's #1 helper, the Lawnmower 5.0, Manscaped can guarantee you'll be stuffing more than just your stocking this season.
Oh, yeah, you will, you dirty dog.
You'll be saying, ho, 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 like Tim Allen. Oh, ho, ho. Let your ornaments shine and enjoy 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com with the code BOYSCAST. Mrs. Claus is going to thank you, fellas.
Miss Claus is going to get those claws in you.
That's
you know?
what I'm using my Don Cherry voice. Mrs. Claus is going to thank you,
yeah.
fellas. Oh, yeah, the Performance Package 5.0 is the ultra one-stop shop for holiday gifting perfection. Say goodbye to those Hollywood party crashers, nose and ears, hairs with the Weed Whacker 2.0. The nose hair trimmer is the king of trimming those hairs, trying to sneak into your festivities uninvited. Also, everyone knows this would make a really good gift for anyone in your life as a
Absolutely.
dude, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I use it on my face.
Their Boxer Games week, you can take care of the chestnuts with Manscaped's Boxers 2.0, featuring their signature jewel pouch to keep you calm, cool, and collected. So get 20% off and free shipping with the code BOYSCAST at manscaped.com. That is 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com with the code BOYSCAST, and give the gift of Manscaped this holiday season. Did you see the baseball player, Ichiro Suzuki?
Yeah, Ichiro?
The ultimate for the boys, dude.
Oh. One of the greats.
So he basically did this game in Japan that was supposed to promote females playing baseball.
Yeah,
And
it was like the top women high school baseball players.
and he just went. He played full out 110% and just struck out every girl.
Yeah, he's 50. He's 50. Dude, he was getting.
It was like Steven Seagal with the extras.
Kind of. It was impressive too. I think his fastball got up to like 88.
He did not want to take it easy.
No, but I mean, dude, it's not like depends who you are, but a lot of times, you know, you're just like your body doesn't hold up. But I guess some guys are. He's just got that.
Also, it helped he was playing against high school girls.
Yeah, but he didn't even bat. He was one of the greatest hitters of all time, partially because he was so fast, and then I think he only went 2 for 5 though, which is not. I think he would.
But he struck everyone out.
But he struck, yeah.
That was the funny part, that he just went hard. But okay, there's 2 things I got to show you with this guy. But I have an article that. This is pretty good news for you.
Okay.
Small penis fall is officially here to celebrate.
Yeah. Yeah, buddy.
The reason it's funny is it's some girl that was trying to say, hey, men need some body positivity too.
Okay.
And it would be easy to interpret the small penis fall as a mean-spirited joke at the expense of less endowed men. But Bitchel insists that this is not intended to do that and shame people with small penises, but rather celebrate them. Admittedly, in a kind of silly way. Do you think any guy with a small dick is pumped that they're doing small penis fall? Matt, just anyone, like, great news, bro.
Yeah, it's small penis fall. You go, what does this entail?
We did something for you too.
Free handies?
Yeah.
No.
This is no, dudes do not want, no one wants small penis fall. They want you to stop talking about it.
Yeah, that's a chick thing.
People with small penises are definitely in on the fun and not the butt of the joke. We'll give you a crown just because you're a king.
Yeah, you get a fancy shirt that you got to wear all the time, just so people know that you're.
But can you imagine someone like someone that's got a tiny one and his girlfriend's just trying to be like celebrating him? It's like,
Yeah.
look,
Whole season, huh? We have to do.
No, you come home, she has all her friends there, and just like, we're celebrating a small penis king.
But like, I love how like all the trans stuff to be like Trans Awareness Day week, and you go, oh, we're doing a whole season for small penis, huh? Not even just 3 full months of this, huh?
Small penis 3/4.
All right.
We are celebrating a king. There he is. There he walks in.
is the king of the castle, everybody, with the smallest penis in the land.
Your parents are there, everyone. Your girlfriend has a surprise small penis party for you.
They have all those like stupid, like the Bachelorette, you know, like with the lollipops, like the dick lollipops, but they're all like really extra small.
Our king has arrived. And the guy's like, can everyone please leave?
Just again.
Here's a celebration. Yeah, that would be a nightmare for a guy. Anyone drawing attention to a small fetus fall. Nobody wants that.
This chick probably saw all the just other things that are getting going. She goes, it seems so easy to just start anew.
No, you just want people to leave it. Listen, I wouldn't want a 13-inch fucking summer either. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't want the middle 13 inches being celebrated or the top or the. I wouldn't want them to celebrate the top
just
13,
leave
the
it
bottom
out of
13,
it.
or the middle 13.
We're going to do tripod winter. It's just not happening, you know?
No, I don't. Just leave me out of it. I'm glad it's blowing up. Everyone seems to be having a lot of fun, except for the guys with the D's.
It's not blowing up.
No, it's not blowing up, and the guys with the D's are not happy with small penis fall.
Why fall?
I've gotten DMs from a ton of guys with small penises thanking me for showing them love, saying that it makes me feel good, and it makes me feel good to be helping people. It's like, those guys are trying to smash you.
Yeah.
If you got a small D and you're saying that I love small D's and I'm celebrating small D's, obviously they're time to shoot their shot.
Well, guys are obviously like, this chick's a whore. Like, I'm going to at least try here. She's like, all she thinks about is cocks.
I'll tell you what. If you make a holiday celebrating any type of penis, I guarantee you're getting some DMs.
Yeah, if you go, I love penises, and people check and see you're single or you're not. And
you're getting some DMs regardless. Yeah. On the subject of helping people, she even launched a small penis fall ice bucket challenge. So she's pouring ice on her for small penises. This is the kind of thing I would that would suck if this was your girlfriend and she was just like, you're dating this girl, she just her whole identity is small penis awareness. You're just like, please stop. Just entirely social media dedicated to small penis, and your girlfriend's just on social medias. And I will now pour ice on myself on behalf of the small penis community. And your boyfriend's just in the background, like, hi. Hey.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with me. No. I actually have a decent one.
Yeah, I got a decent rod. This is just, we're just trying to support the boys here. So,
she goes, encouraging men with larger penises to immerse their junk in cold ice water to shrink their penises. Oh, do you think that would make anyone with a small D feel better? A fucking huge dude.
You go to literally like a cold plunge.
A porn star fucking takes his dick, puts it in ice water, like, hey, I'm just like you now.
Just like us.
I was like, imagine they did that for fat girls, like fucking where a girl puts a fat suit on in support. Where girls eat 9 meals in one day in solidarity with these fat pigs. Dipping their dicks in ice water to fucking celebrate.
Just tucking it.
Shut up.
Just tucking. Yeah,
I can't imagine anyone would think this is good. Okay, I got this alpha guy. So there's this dude. And
I like alpha guys.
I found this guy on my own accord, right?
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe what I was seeing. So I was looking around. I go, this can't be real, right? Mm-hmm. Check this guy out. So his whole thing is he's been drinking his own pee.
Yeah.
I sent it to you. I sent it to like 4 people. I'm like, this is real, right?
Yeah.
And then I saw him. He's going on other people's podcasts.
Yeah, I wouldn't look like, you can kind of tell. Either he's the longest con.
He's kind of like a decent looking dude, and his whole deal is he drinks his own pee and then he goes on podcasts and talks about it.
Yeah, he goes, yeah.
Things have gotten a little out of control right now, I think it's fair to say.
I had been drinking my own urine since 2005. I heard it was a health thing or whatever, and I wanted to try it, and I think I was driving to San Francisco, and I didn't want to stop. And so
of course he was driving to San
Francisco. That is not even the San Francisco thing. That is the craziest thing where you're like I'm impulsive. I'll be the first to admit I'm a very impulsive person. I've never just been listening to a podcast driving and be like, someone's like, yeah, I heard about drinking your pee. Go, word? And you just piss in a fucking, empty a coffee cup, piss in it and start drinking it before like the guy's finished talking about the health benefits of it.
That's crazy.
Like he goes, yeah, I couldn't wait to even get to my destination. I'm like, I have to drink my piss right now because of just like some fucking offhand thing someone said in a
pull over the car.
But I didn't even pull over. He's just pissing.
No, this guy, it's wild.
Cup and I drank it and I was like, that's not that bad. Mm-hmm. And I liked the energetic. It's like a hair of the dog. It's like you're a biocomputer, right? You're a complete intelligent being.
You boys want some hair of the dog?
dog.
All right, bring out the cups. You go, you didn't put anything in the cups. He goes, hair of the dog.
Hair of the dog.
And then this just came out of you, and you put it right back in, and it's like a diagnostic tool. It's like a hair of the dog. It's like,
Keep
this
saying
is
that.
what's
I don't-
going on with you. And now it's like, if there's too much coffee, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't like that. I can feel things.
You can tell.
I can feel things for sure.
So now he's saying he like drinks his pee to do he goes,
he just-
like a Somalian. He takes his piss and he goes, hold on. He goes, hey, do you want to have some, do you want to do dessert? And you go, I can't, you know what? I just want to see, I might have had a lot of sugar today. You know what? I think I'm actually good.
That was dessert enough for me.
But he thinks he's been switching it around in his mouth, and he was just like, yeah, no, I think I had too many cups of coffee today. I'm actually good. So he's been doing tests on himself like
He just
that.
drinks his own piss.
I snort it, I age it, and it's amazing to Sunday.
Ew,
Really?
that's
And how long do you
nasty.
age
I mean, look at the color
He's
of my skin.
aging it now.
Dude, have you ever walked into like a bathroom
I
where like
use
the
zero sunscreen.
Wow.
My sunscreen is my nutrition, and I'm not advocating for anybody to do it. I'm
Sure.
just reporting live
You're
from
telling
planet
you what you're
Earth.
doing.
So it keeps
so
you-
instead of sunscreen, this is
This guy's fucking
You see those?
bonkers.
You see those like those ads where you go like, these are like these 3 tricks that like big pharma doesn't want you to know about.
Of
This is
course.
why, because you're like, yeah, there's no money to be made if you could just instead of buying sunscreen, you could just piss on yourself.
Well, I think just at the beach.
Fucking pissing and just waiting and go, yeah, it's the best sunscreen.
He just
Nature sunscreen.
bringing a girl to the beach. Be like, hey, do you mind putting this on me? Trying to get my back. Yeah, and he's saying it's everything. He goes to the doctor, and the doctor's like, all right, take your pants off. He goes, I will take off my pants off, piss in this cup, drink it, and then leave because I don't need you anymore.
You think he's like got a little David Blaine action where he goes, doctor goes, can you piss in this cup? He goes, 1 second. Spits in a cup. Spits in it. Brings it up.
Well, then I saw him. He's on another podcast. Because that's when I found him. I actually know this guy, but he's on this guy's podcast. I wonder if we could get the pee drinker.
What is the
we get
science
the pee drinker
behind
for sure.
your own pee?
Yeah, it's more of the folklore that I know. So it's hair of the dog. So whatever
He's always hair of the
keep
dog.
saying that.
you or dysfunctional inside of you, it's going to teach the biocomputer like, oh, okay, because you're just tasting yourself, right? And so I have a little bit in the morning, and the topical I really like for the skin as well. I do use it for my skin.
So you pee on your skin?
I pee in a mason jar and I let it ferment for
Couple weeks, he says.
Fermented piss in a mason jar in like an airtight. Oh my god.
Can you imagine dating this guy?
I mean, logically, you think the next step is shit, right?
That's what I'm saying. It does feel like this guy's like, if I got this much benefits from piss,
Yeah. Every dude who you see like living under a bridge with shit matted in his hair and just smeared all over his face started as the pee drinker guy.
this guy's something else, huh?
Or the joke's on us, by the way. Or the joke is totally on us.
It's not on us.
And he goes, yeah, dude, you guys stay sick while I'm drinking my piss. So,
He does look okay.
yeah, he looks like a pretty healthy guy.
That's pretty crazy. Actually, we had a breaking news before the podcast started. Washington Post drops eye-popping report on the Maga Doms and the Libtard subs infiltrating the kink community.
Libtard sub.
Danny even got this article. right
Libtard sub is incredible.
before. And they wanted to be punished by the
Yeah,
Maga
they
Dom.
want to be punished for like voting for Trump and stuff.
The Washington Post published an eye-popping report on the political humiliation libtard subs who fantasize about being dominated by Maga Doms and vice versa.
So you're just like some soy like libtard person, and then you have something like chick in a MAGA hat.
Yeah, you kind of go on the ground and you go, just so you know, I hate Kamala Harris.
I'm building the wall.
I've been a bad boy.
Yeah.
I've been a bad boy. I want to close the border.
I watched a Ben Shapiro video. What?
The guy's name's Lieberman too, which is hilarious. JJ, it could be him too. So Andrew Tate, they did a thing in I think it's Australia. Australian government. They basically have a whole. I'll tell you what, a government they basically put a bunch of money, $3.5 million into the funding, into the
To
school
just make
system, into
dudes chicks.
a program that is supposed to deprogram the young boys off Andrew Tate.
Deprogramming program.
We know someone that might say something to this program.
Yeah.
Afuera!
That seems like a good.
Did you see the Andrew Tate video recently? He's on Piers Morgan. It's incredible. And he goes, did you ever cry when you were in the prison? And he goes, at one point there were tears rolling down my eyes, but I did not cry.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, if you're tears, then you cried, right? He goes, I don't see it that way. He goes,
I think he said it was from working out.
So you
for
did
doing
cry? And he
push-ups
goes, I beg to differ. I was like, that's great. He's the goat.
He goes, nope.
He doesn't cry, but so the schools are doing. This is what schools are doing to combat Andrew Tate. But the problem is, the thing is, if you want to have there is something to be said about. If you're like, oh, give kids a better role models or whatever. But the problem is, girls' paws are all over this thing, right?
Yeah. For sure.
They're trying to combat the influence of Tate and other similar internet personalities among young men, implementing a $3.5 million program to tackle harmful messages, extremely toxic masculinity in social media. The strategy, known as Healthy Masculinities Project, will launch in 2024. So it's not the craziest idea, but you have to start by admitting it's actually not that toxic, but you can give people a better one.
No,
right?
they're gonna. This is gonna be dude. Think about if you're a 10 or 11-year-old kid who's seen Andrew Tate on TikTok, you kind of find him funny, and then you're kind of short hair, frumpy chick teacher comes in, and we're like, oh, we're gonna be doing a course today on combating
exactly.
And you're joking the whole time. You're like, none of this is getting through to me. If anything, I'm more toxic after this.
It would be hilarious.
But it's so transparent what's going on. They probably don't even refute it well, and you leave being like, yeah, if anything, I believe it more.
Exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And they're basically going in there being like, everything that boys do is toxic because their ideology at its core is a mess. This is sort of what I was thinking recently, because there's a lot of people recently on Twitter. There's been kind of a push, and on other platforms too, that to say that there's sort of a lot of problems with dudes, a loneliness epidemic, and can't get girls, and suicide and stuff like that, right? But the problem is, there was a big one that someone posted, hey, there was this epidemic of men who are lonely in some country or whatever, right? And then some girl with a big following quote tweeted it, being like, women, we can't walk outside without being murdered. Men, we're sad. That, and that goes super viral. And it was just it is a mistake that dudes sort of make, and to try to get sympathy from girls.
No.
The thing is, most of your problems telling a woman will never help. So that when this type of thing, when they're trying to tell, if they're trying to make anything that would make men's lives better or boys' lives better, you need to keep women away from that. Because as soon as women get into it, they'll start doing all the stuff that all of the people they're trying to get rid of are fighting in the first place.
Yeah, and it's just the conceit of it all just seems so apparent, where you're you're trying to just bring men down, not you're not trying to we're trying to just
because they can't accept what basic principle, the actual truth, right? If you're living in a fantasy land, the first step for people to listen to anyone is they go, I can't think you're lying.
Yeah.
And as soon as I'm the stuff you're saying is bullshit, and then I'm definitely not listening when you come in and being like, welcome to being a man.
Yeah, totally. There's one thing to be
excuse me. Time for masculinity, positive masculinity 101.
Yeah, this is going to be abject.
Everybody's just getting sent out in the hallway.
Yeah, every kid's going to get kicked out of that.
Getting kicked out of the positive masculinity.
And what do the
courses.
girls do during that?
They probably go to
They probably literally get to go to an ice cream shop. With their $3.5 million. They go, we're not toxic, so we're going to all go have a nice afternoon eating ice cream while you men get reprogrammed.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they go, that's not fair.
But I think that's why there is some benefit to dudes talking to each other and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And whatever. But I'll tell you,
online, maybe anonymously on 4chan, stuff like that. But
I don't think maybe.
No.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's maybe more than the other option.
Yeah.
for some people, right?
Yeah.
Having some sort of community. But I think that just in general, and it's not even like a dig on women or anything, I think if dudes are ever trying to like solve a problem or better themselves, I think it's rarely helpful to try to get sympathy from women. I think it always just makes it worse. And I think
and that's their game. That's another problem. Is
you can never beat them at their own game.
That's their own game,
and it's impossible for them to not play.
Yeah.
Like you can be like, you'll notice, like most times you tell a girl something, they'll kind of, in their mind at the very least, they start thinking like, well, actually, I have kind of a hard,
Yeah, of course.
I just think getting sympathy for women, it doesn't benefit you. It doesn't help. So I think that's the problem is guys want their thing to be recognized. And
But complaining is like, women have accomplished a lot by being like loud and vocal.
Yeah, and they're trying
which
to
is
like
their
do a girl.
game.
Yeah, and so it's like dudes trying to do like a girl way to get sympathy
exactly.
for
They
their
go,
thing.
oh yeah, well that worked for you, so I'm gonna fight fire. You're like, no, you're gonna lose because that's their game.
And it didn't work that good for them. It just made the gender divide bigger, probably.
Yeah, I would not do it that way.
So yeah, it's you definitely want to ignore all of their things, but I don't think you're trying to convince girls like the dudes have it hard and this and that. It's like it's such a useless.
The only
game.
way you just have to win.
You have to win. You have to solve your problems on
You
your
solve
own.
your problem and win, and that'll piss them off the most because then if you could, without even mentioning it, somehow widen the gender pay gap again, just from actual like productivity and like value creation.
Let's go.
And then women are just like, but then again, they'll try and claw that back with their complaining. But at least you go, but you know that you did it the right way.
I think so. So when you sort of see that stuff, so whenever they're if they are trying to like give boys masculine and stuff, it was like, the truth is, don't feed them ideology at all. Just be like, what would, if you're like, oh, this guy's toxic or whatever, what would help? Like, get that guy playing sports.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Have that guy try to convince him to be productive,
And also,
but
be
it's like
very careful about the things you choose to say are like the toxic.
And you have to-
because obviously Andrew Tate does have some traits.
But that's what I'm saying.
They're going to say all of it.
You have to admit, like, okay, he's right about that stuff, but we're just going to dole it back a little
Yeah.
bit. You can't just be like, if you have to say, oh, Andrew Tate's wrong about
everything.
Yeah, you go, okay, well,
It's a Trump thing. You go, yeah, we're going to say we don't like him, so he's wrong about everything. You go, okay, well, you're going to not do well here.
you're just making yourself a liar.
Yep. Correct.
So I think that's a mistake some dudes make online. Girls did a massive rebrand recently, and it's time for the dudes to do their rebrand where they go, we're not fat, we're beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm not a slut, I'm sex positive. Not annoying, I'm non-binary.
Yeah.
Well, we have to do. We have to do our massive rebrand.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not unemployed. I'm available.
I'm available.
I'm available.
I'm a part of the workforce.
Not on 4chan all day. I'm in the know.
Yeah.
I didn't punch holes in that drywall. I exerted
I
dominance.
work in demolition.
Yeah. We just have to do our own rebrand.
I work in organic demolition.
Organic demolition is the guy punching holes in the wall. Because you don't want to do your guy version of the girl articles.
No.
Which I have a couple little montage of crappy girl articles. They go, Olivia Colman praises Harry Styles' attractive, non-aggressive role model. Olivia Colman expressed women's preference for positive and gentle role models over Andrew Tate's in the world. And you're just like, yes, you don't need to exert dominance when you're a famous
Yeah, when
millionaire.
you're one of the most famous musicians,
Yes.
good-looking musicians in the world.
Because it's done for you. It's
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? If you're the king, you don't need to come out there and be like, let everyone know that you're physically dominant.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, it's
yeah.
done for you. It's
yeah,
like,
your alpha male status is enshrined when you sell out Wembley Stadium
Yeah,
2 nights in a row.
exactly,
You're like,
right?
You're good.
So you don't have to do that because it's done for
It's like
you.
literally when he wears a dress, he's trying to be like, how gay can I get
And
before people even like take me down a peg?
They can't, yeah.
Yeah, you're just like, he can do whatever he wants.
Here's a good one. The beauty industry is sexist. I think the beauty industry is sexist. It objectifies women a lot of times. It can really boil women down to just their appearance. But
Yeah. The beauty
isn't that a good one?
Yeah, that's
the
amazing.
appearance industry is all about
This
appearance.
is the classic thing, though. Is like the biggest Instagram influencer, like literally the biggest makeup influencer on Instagram. She has like 50 million followers or whatever, and now she's like, oh, you know what, Instagram's bad. You're like, yeah, because you already, you
got all your stuff.
You started a $1 billion enterprise, and then you can go, oh, it's bad.
You gotta stay away
Yeah,
from
you go,
these
what do you
women.
mean the beauty is sexist? The whole thing is you're deceptive.
That is such a mind fuck to just be like, the beauty industry, which is the whole purpose of it is to try to make you more beautiful,
Deceive.
is paying too much attention to beauty.
Yeah.
It's like saying the NBA is focusing too much on athletics.
They're past getting some like just gross chick and putting makeup on there and be like, see what they look like. Now they're like, even that is bad.
but we're still gonna do it.
I mean, how do you display your products? You know, like you still sell makeup.
No clue.
I don't even know.
No clue.
This is like you say something, you go, what do you mean?
You see Kim Kardashian's new product?
No.
That's basically a bra that has fake nipples that show
Oh
up.
yeah, I did see that. Yeah,
Basically, look like the girl from fucking Villain from Austin Powers.
Yeah, I'd say. Basically. You know what?
That's peak. Like we don't want men objectifying us. Like also we're fucking putting fake nipples on.
What happens when you have big nips, though?
It's like a
Does
guy
it
having
double them?
a guy having like a bulge and being like, "Stop looking at my bulge." And it's like, well, you have this enormous
Yeah, he
bulge and you're wearing
goes-
spandex
Yeah,
pants.
yeah,
Like, eyes up here.
Eyes up, yeah.
Like you lose the right to say eyes up here when you got fake nipples on poking out of your shirt. I think a little bit.
She's so influential. She could just do any dumb thing, and just some portion of
Definitely
people
a
will just do
bizarre
it.
one, eh?
Yeah, just chicks are gonna be walking around with these nipple bras.
Well, there's good news for the boys though.
Yeah.
Phantom pregnancies happen. Why don't we talk about them? Basically, they're saying that I don't know who.
It's like how
figured this
when
out.
you have a twin,
Yes.
like twin pains.
But they're saying when your girl's pregnant,
yeah.
some of the dudes also feel it too. She's just like, I need you to get me something. You actually, my pregnancy's. Yeah, it hurts too. I'm also experiencing a little bit.
It's crazy how it happens just a millisecond later, though.
It always happens a million. Phantom
Yeah, she's
pregnancy.
like, oh.
Can you rub my feet? You rub my feet. I'm also my phantom pregnancy.
Why don't we do some sort of little foot rubbing 69 situation?
Okay. This now we've gotten through a little bit of riffraff there.
Yeah.
This is a TikToker, right? And she thinks that restaurants are using dating apps to trick women into
This
eating
is
at their.
pretty funny.
It's pretty good, right?
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
So this girl has
It doesn't
claimed
quite pass the smell test to me, but
she arrived at the restaurant. No, there's the other people are agreeing with her.
No,
and
I
it's
know.
become a thing.
I guess no.
Obviously, it doesn't pass the smell test that it's happening.
No. I guess just read the thing. I'll
To her restaurant, her date has asked her to meet at, only to realize when she didn't show up, he had unmatched her. Frustrated but dolled up, the woman decided to buy dinner for herself after she made the effort to go out, only to see a video of another woman who was also stood up at the same restaurant by someone she was unmatched with on the same dating app.
Yeah.
She found out that there are restaurants now posing as people on dating apps just so you go to their business.
It's so funny.
And once you get stood up, do you think that actually happens?
Well, it does. First off, it makes sense that something like that would happen, even though it's so short term, because that would eventually get found out and you get put on like absolute, like nothing is worse than a bunch of chicks angry at you on the internet. Like that's the end of your fucking.
I don't think. Wait. I agree that they're not doing that.
I don't know what's going on, but
No,
another
this
thing
girl
that-
got stood up and she's sitting at the restaurant and she goes, "Wait a second, this is a big scam to get me to eat here." And it was like, no,
but
you
they
just got
found someone
stood
else
up.
who got set up at the same circumstances at the same restaurant. But like, if you're
Maybe it's the same guy.
I know, but say you're a restaurant.
Maybe I'll tell you what it might be.
Yeah,
No, it might be a guy, and he does matches with them, and then they walk into the restaurant. And he knows how to look. He has the newspaper, and he takes a look. And then when he sees them in person, and then he goes, he waves it off and unmatches, and then
That's possible.
And then he puts the fake
That's
disguise
more
on and
likely
walks out.
because it just doesn't make sense to me. The amount of work that would be required to get a first date surely cannot be worth like the chance of a woman buying a meal for herself.
Not a chance.
You know what I mean?
And
Like
there's
the actual
plenty of women
ROI.
there's plenty of women that get stood up and don't sit there at the restaurant and
Yeah.
buy themselves a
I
meal
would think
because they weren't
most
planning on paying for it. Probably the first
And
starter.
most wouldn't. They'd be like, a woman would be like, "This is so sad. I'm just going to sit here and eat a meal by myself." The only thing I can think of is maybe it's an AI thing. It's, you know, the profile's so souped up, and it's one of those like profiles where they have like very few messages, and then the guy's like, you know, I'm just straight to the point. If you want to like meet, let's just meet. I don't like to texting kind of thing, and then sends that message a million times. That really quick exchange, and he goes like, and that's it. But I don't know.
I don't think this is happening.
So
far, it's her, and she's found one other. That is not evidence.
No,
Two girls got stood up, and
at
the
a
conclusion
restaurant.
they've drawn is the restaurant has this massive, like, network of people going on Tinder to make them come to the restaurant.
Yeah, I think so.
And then knowing they stand up, because it would be like, you'd have to do it to so many girls, and
It sounds like something if I was 13 right now, that would be like a prank. I would
Be a funny prank, yeah.
I'd be making fake Tinder accounts and
Me
stuff,
too.
and then I'd be fucking with chicks and then making them like go to restaurants, and then
funnier to
I'd be
fuck with dudes
and then I'd be like
sometimes,
sitting
right?
at the restaurant, yeah, maybe or whatever, and you sitting there and just like drinking a milkshake, just
Hooser.
I don't know.
And then a wife, this is even better. So this wife threatened to protest a brothel where her husband spent $4K on 7-hour sex bender and take it up with the husband, not us. So this is like the husband's worst nightmare because the wife's going like real public with the husband.
I mean, it's amazing though that most chicks would just be like, "We're getting divorced."
I know.
He somehow made her think like it's not my fault.
She is a ride or die a little bit, you might say, right?
A bit of a pick me.
A wife has threatened to protest outside the brothel on the Gold Coast after her husband sent $6,000 on a 7-hour sex bender. 7 hours is crazy too. The man attended the Pentagon Gram where he had intercourse with two. So this is what you get for the $6,000. It says he has 2 chicks, 7 hours,
7 hours.
fetishes and fantasies.
A little libdom stuff, a little libtard doms.
I don't know what he did. I think it must have been like libtard dom stuff. After 7 hours, the workers said they were too tired to continue.
He made him tap out.
7 hours?
That's insane.
His irate wife later turned up at the brothel, but you're right. The guy comes home, and then basically she saw the credit card statement 7 hours. And instead
He's also, like, blacked
instead of yelling at
out.
him, I think she sort of brings him by the ear or whatever.
Kind of. She goes, "He has an alcohol problem, and you're taking advantage of my sick husband."
7 hours.
7 hours.
At some point, you're sobering up in those 7 hours.
Yeah, you think so? I guess some. I mean, not everybody. I guess some people.
Going to the brothel for 7 hours, you got to be quite the Hunter Biden.
Let's go for 7 hours. I don't know what you do there for 7. What do you do for
She
7
politely explained that the man seemed sober in the footage and had successfely negotiated. Also, the people are like, I was bone sober.
Yeah, he was negotiating.
He
some deal.
negotiated a deal. So that is funny telling your wife. You're like, I was blackout drunk. And then on the thing, you're like, listen, okay, I don't know. 6,000 seems a little. Can we go 550?
He goes, I go, "Are you drunk?" You go, "No, I'll take a breathalyzer right now." You're taking say zeros. He goes,
All right. I'd like to see it sitting around
"It
5,000.
looks worse than it is, honey."
All right. Read that back to me. All right. We're taking the 2 girls. It's going to be 4,500. We're going to have 7 hours each or if they tap out, and for every hour they tap out, we're going to take off. The guy's just like hardcore negotiating.
Yeah.
But I thought that was kind of
I mean, that's a ballsy move. That is a majorly ballsy move to, if you're that guy, to somehow try to switch it around like that. Like, you just take your licks.
You think the place has it in a weird thing because if she protests outside the brothel, that isn't good for business.
No.
However,
I don't know
maybe
if
it
it's-
is good for business.
I don't know the legality.
Well, it's
of
good
it.
for business in the sense that all this press is publicizing their brothel,
Yeah.
which is probably good, but it's bad for business because no guy would want to walk in when there's someone with a sign. Someone's wife
you
with
don't
a
wanna
sign
go to the heat
outside.
score fucking brothel. You want like the low key.
You're outside the brothel and there's a wife standing outside there.
I mean, I think the move though is you.
With her, like anyone, all you need to do is make a brothel that no one will go there. All you need to do is stand outside with a camera.
Yeah.
That's what she should say to do. She goes, if you don't give me my money back, I'm going to stand outside every day with a camera.
Yeah, or you get like a giant LED like panel van with a camera that like live streams onto the van and just circles the block.
I'm leaving a live stream outside the brothel.
Yeah.
That would basically run them out of town.
Probably, but then they.
I wonder if anyone's ever done that. Just be like, hey, I don't want this brothel next door to my house.
Yeah.
So, it's
I
too
think
close to my house.
generally
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put a camera that streams 24/7 beside it.
Yeah, I think generally the type of people who run brothels are not super reasonable in terms of this stuff, and they will probably hurt you.
That's what I'm saying. They'll just go smash your camera and you go.
They'll probably go smash you.
They might smash you too.
Yeah, I
this
think
is organized crime a lot of times.
I think so. I think
Yakuza.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if you're gonna go try and just like reason with brothel owners, other than maybe where they're regulated. I don't know. I don't know what it's like in Australia. Maybe they are regulated like Vegas. I imagine they not. Mm-hmm. But maybe.
Well, the women that are in the blogging outfits have been reached peak insanity because now they said, what will it take to finally end STI stigma? Even in a sexually liberated generation, people are still hell-bent on upholding...
I mean, first off, it's mostly chicks who are mad about STI. So this is this is such a crazy position being written by chicks because normally it's
They
women,
make up a world and live in it.
I know, but normally, like, the whole thing is it's women. The STI issue is generally it's an issue for women.
Yeah, girls are like, yeah, when you put a condom on, I don't want to get STD.
But like STIs, like like things like whatever chlamydia, like I think in their worst version can make women like infertile and can cause actual issues for them. Whereas guys, it's not an issue.
Nothing.
Just like maybe burns and then it goes away.
Like gonorrhea, you could probably just have it for
That's what I'm saying. But for women, like legitimately, they say, "Oh, could
be a problem.
It could become a problem, and I could maybe not be able to have kids." So then, for women to be pushing this, some sort of depopulation agenda going on here. That's the only thing I can think of here. This is George. Does George Soros own this
Okay, I'll
dog?
give you one. I'll give you that, and I'll also add that maybe there's an element where they think they're like standing up for the gay community.
Right.
Like they're sort of, you know what I mean? It's all just so tied in. They're just like lost in the sauce, and they're just like these gay guys. You know, one of their gay friends comes and they go, "Oh, my gay friend didn't want to have sex with me because I have every STD," and they go, "That's no good."
Yeah.
You know,
do gays really care about that much though?
They don't.
Gay
really
guys
know.
are like chlamydia. Who cares?
Chlamydia. How are you giving them? I give less of a shit. Yeah.
I don't care.
But it's even funnier. They go, from a young age, the mere existence of STIs can be communicated like the Black Plague, something to be feared and avoided. From our parents and our health teachers, the message is well received. STIs are bad. So they basically
for women.
Well, they want the school to be like, all right, now sometimes you might get an STI. Nothing wrong with that. It's legitimately like the health teachers are bro now.
Yeah, bro now.
Oh, you're gonna fuck. You want to wrap it up, but sometimes you're gonna forget to wrap it up, and you might get a little. Your wiener
Here's a
might,
pill for that, fellas.
your wiener might get a little fucking dinged up, but you pop a couple pills, get rid of that.
Yeah, I can't even believe that they would say this.
And maybe it's the false idea that STIs are a result of promiscuity. Like, obviously that's true.
Nobody's. First off, this
Well,
isn't
that's
there's not a
true.
public. Yeah, it is true. Obviously, it's not a public database. I'm sure some people have got STIs in their first time or whatever, but generally,
Yeah, the exceptions doesn't make the rules. I'll tell
for
you
sure.
what, I was fucking banging way more back in the day, and I was getting way more STDs now.
I somehow,
Now
dude, I
now I'm off the scene and I don't
honestly
get STDs. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I somehow managed to never really get one.
No?
No, I think maybe once I maybe.
Well,
caught
yours
some-
doesn't go in that deep.
I was out there though. I was not a
I was actually out
I was fucking out there. No, I remember I was at some point I started to wonder. I go,
Am I immune?
am I immune to this shit or what's going on?
Do you know how much girls have put the strap on in my ass and I haven't got a single STD? You never got chlamydia or nothing?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I wasn't getting tested for it. I'll tell you that much. Don't get tested. It's the COVID thing. Don't get tested. Don't
You're
know.
not going to apologize for being. You don't have to apologize on this podcast for being progressive.
No.
That's how much. Yeah, that's how progressive you are.
I'm called
with
a pioneer.
you were progressive about this stuff back in the day. It wasn't a big deal to you.
I don't want to shame any partners I was with, so I just decided not
You
to.
don't want to potentially go to get tested and shame the partners.
Yeah. I mean, I drank my piss, it tasted fine, and I just was like,
I would get tested and then I would put it above my wall.
Yeah.
And then the girl would say, "That says from 1994." I go,
yeah, it's still valid. It's valid.
That's really
You think
funny.
the piss drinker can taste STIs? He goes,
He 100% the piss drinker can.
yeah.
He swishes it around. Gonorrhea.
Right now.
The stigma is heavy and is not caused by promiscuity. I can also imagine the person writing this just like sitting in their basement covered in lesions. They got every STI known to
Picking
man.
off their lesions.
There's another. Warts all over their forehead. But the idea that like the dudes that are moaning the most aren't getting the fucking most STDs.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going raw.
Yeah.
That's even another thing. They're not even. Well, they mentioned that too. But it's like they're like, yeah, it's the girls more that are just like, yo, let's use a Connie, and the guys like,
Yeah, well, they have a lot more to lose.
yeah, exactly.
Knocked up.
But that's what I'm saying. This is very accidentally, like, very pro dude propaganda.
But why? That's my question. Is the why for this? I guess
The only thing I can think
there's
of.
no difference between they want to. It's like the super liberal feminism. There's no difference between men and women. So why should
It's definitely where it's just gone so far that their brain is just turned to mush. But also, there's a bit of it that my hypothesis is they're thinking about it in terms of the gay community.
Yeah.
I think they're thinking about it in terms of like gay guys that are like shaming HIV.
Okay.
And then they're trying to like extrapolate that into like, and everyone shouldn't shame anything.
Do gay guys shame HIV anymore?
I'm sure there's some that don't love it.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's like that shamed. No, but I think that there's some guys that might not be their first choice.
That's fair. That's fair.
Do you see what happened with like P? You know, how P Diddy got cooked.
Yeah, he's been in the news a lot. They keep coming after him.
Yeah, so I don't know if you know what happened, but so basically it was like P Diddy, Erica Adams, Jamie Foxx, all, and there was like a bunch of others that got hit with like a getting sued for sex assault.
Yeah, Eric Adams was kind of weird.
But what happened was they essentially had like a statute of limitations that got lifted.
Yeah,
So that's where they all came from. They essentially did like a last call.
Yeah, last call. Yeah. There is. I saw the Eric Adams one was a last call. I didn't know that's what the other one.
But it's just so funny that they essentially did like a last call for fucking
so crazy.
suing.
Because Eric Adams is like, yeah, I don't know who this person is. Never met them.
No, I know.
Don't know who it is. And they go, well, you have to go to court and defend yourself now, and at your expense.
Yeah, but that's what happens when they do the last call.
I wonder how much evidence is required to bring a lawsuit like this forward. You know, like because to now tie up.
Yeah,
some
how do you
person,
even get into the court?
Like, yeah, how do you what?
I mean, to get the article, zero.
No article. Whatever, yeah, article. There's no standard.
You think
there. But
about
to
it and they'll write it.
Yeah, but to actually get into the legal system, they say, okay, well, what's your thing? I met Eric Adams and he sexually assaulted me at a party.
I think all. Yeah, I mean, there's. I think it's just first person testimonial to get into the court.
Yeah, like, do you need other people at least corroborating this who say I was at the party?
I don't know what you
This
need.
happened. Surely there's no physical evidence. There's no evidence at all.
Yeah, because this is also the getting paid court too. It's not
Yeah,
the.
this is civil. This is not criminal.
But there must be tons. I don't know who else, but like this was a yeah.
Yeah.
And then essentially the P Diddy one made a lot of people realize that the courts were back in session.
Yeah, the courts are back.
Okay.
Something even to do when you like, yeah.
We're going to go over to the patreon.com/theboyscast.
Don't be a Hatreon. Come over to the Patreon.
Put down that haterade. Don't be on that Hatreon. Come over, boyscast.com/thepatreon. Peace.
Later.